Everybody! How is everybody tonight? So I'm going to squeeze over here so I'm not sitting in your lap while I try to talk to you about this wonderful show. So I'm just going to give you guys a brief little speech and intro about this splendid piece of theater that we're presenting tonight. First, I'd like to say thank you to Pat Simon for really pushing all of this to happen. Without her, I don't think that there would have been enough organization to do this, so thank you. I would also really love to give appreciation to Ms. Larissa Scheck for we were able to put something together in 4 or 5 rehearsals that I hope is as enchanting to you guys as it has been for all of us. Flower Drum Song is a musical that was first premiered in 1958, December 1st at St. James Theater. The reason that I decided to pick this up specifically is because I wasn't as aware with the story as I was with some of the music, but when I sat down and I read it all, I was blown away. What was phenomenal to me was when I read it, I did not see race, I did not see color, I didn't even see gender sometimes. I saw a story about people suffering and struggling to understand themselves, each other, and love. And I hope that tonight, through this experience, you guys find little slices and slivers of yourselves and your memories and your own struggles with understanding yourselves and understanding that we're not alone. Whether you're Asian, or you're white, or you're black, or you're Latino, we all at some point or another reach a crossroad where we have to make a decision of whether we want to do what we want to do, or if we want to do what somebody else wants us to do. So thank you so much for coming out and supporting this, and I hope you guys enjoy Flower Drum Song.
Lights up on the stage of the St. James Theater. It is December 1st, 1958. Warm light, designed by Peggy Clark, bathes the stage, revealing the setting of our carefully crafted theatrical experience. We are in the house of Master Wang Qian. Oliver Smith has given physical life to the home where East meets West. The house is architecturally Victorian with Chinese decorations superimposed. It represents the blending of San Francisco and Hong Kong, which permeates the story. The chairs are high and straight-backed. The lamps, miniature garden on a low table, the god of longevity dominating the room from wall to wall, all insert the oriental spirit of an occidental background. A large, broad window and a door to the street fill out the back wall. Off left, one goes to the kitchen, off right to the rooms upstairs. At rides, Madame Liang, originally played by Juanita Hall, in her second role with the Rogers and Hammerstein family. She previously originated the role of Bloody Mary in South Pacific. Madame Liang is the matriarch of the house. She is on the phone making a grocery order. Wang San, also played by an actor with previous history with Rogers and Hammerstein, having grown up in The King and I, originated by Filipino actor Patrick Adyard. Wang San is the youngest of Madame Liang's nephews. He is lounging on a couch when his older brother, played originally by Ed Kenny, a Hawaiian native discovered singing in a nightclub in Honolulu. Wang Ta enters.
So what's my little brother doing home from school?
They sent me home. Got in a fight.
He fights, and all Chinatown will think he is a descendant of a low-bred family. I don't know what I will say to your father.
Isn't father home?
No, my nephew. He has gone to the bank to have his $100 bill changed.
I need my allowance.
Have you got a date, Ta?
As a matter of fact, I'm going out with Johnny Lee and 2 young ladies.
A couple of tomatoes.
Foreigners?
No, Chinese girls.
Chinese tomatoes.
What is her family name?
Lo, I met her on a blind date.
Blind date?
That's when a friend arranges for you to meet a young lady whom you don't know. Miss Lo has a Thunderbird.
Big deal.
Go to your room. And remember, any more fighting and I will have you taken out of that school.
If I stay in that school, I better join Blue Cross.
My do you think you can lend me $10? I'll pay you back after father pays me.
Madame Liang gives Ta the money.
Thank you, Aunt Liang.
I heard you talking to yourself in your room last night. Were you memorizing your speech?
No, I was memorizing a Chinese poem.
To recite to Madame Thunderbird?
There's one poem I think might appeal to her.
What poem?
It starts, along the Huanghe Valley.
Ah, yes. I remember. Along the Huanghe Valley
saw the face of only one come drifting down the street. You are beautiful, small and shy. You are the girl whose eyes met mine just as your boat sailed by. This I know of you, nothing more. You are the girl whose eyes met mine, passing the river shore. You are the girl whose laugh I heard, silver and soft and bright, soft as the fall of lotus leaves, brushing the air of night. And while your flower boat sailed away, gently your eyes looked back on mine. Clearly you heard me say, you are the girl I will love someday. You are the girl whose laugh I heard, silver and soft and bright, soft as the fall of lotus leaves, brushing the air of night. And while your flower boat sailed away, gently your eyes looked back on mine. Clearly you heard me say, you are the girl I will love someday.
The speech is interrupted by the sudden opening of the front door. Wang Qian comes in, slams the door behind him, and enters the room, greatly agitated. One of the first characters cast in the original production, he was played by Ki Lu, well known as Charlie Chan's #1 son. He is a man of 60, with a kind face despite a drooping gray mustache, which gives him a stern look. He places his hand over his heart and sucks in a deep breath.
I have been robbed! The $100 I changed are gone.
Where were you robbed?
Right in front of the home next door.
I am glad you were robbed. How many times have I told you you should keep your money in a bank?
It has always been safe under my bed.
Your bedroom may be safe for other things, but not money.
I want you to report this to the American government. I want 2 soldiers to guard my house day and night.
Father, you cannot order the American government to guard your house. What did he look like?
Don't ask me what he looked like. All white men look alike.
Father, why don't you put your money in a bank?
Money is like a man's wife. Strangers should not get their hands on it.
May I go? I'm late for my appointment. Goodbye, Father. Goodbye, my aunt.
I hope you enjoy your blind date.
Tom makes a warning gesture to her as if to say, don't tell father, and he exits. She still feels the need to tell Wang all about how blind dates work. They get into a brief discussion as to how these American lifestyles are odd. However, Wang is not shaken on his pursuit of finding an Eastern wife for his son and his hope for a grandchild. They are interrupted by the doorbell. Madame Liang opens it, admitting Sammy Fong. He is good-looking, Americanized in his 30s. He's a politico, a wannabe businessman, and a fixer. The role was originated by 2 different Caucasian men. However, the role in the original Broadway cast was given to Larry Blyden, husband and choreographer of the show Carol Haney.
Sammy Fong!
The one and only me. And how have you been, Madame Liang?
Not good, not bad.
And how's the old master?
Mr. Fong, why am I being honored with your visit?
Let me lay it on the line. Madame Liang told me you were in the market for a bride for your son.
According to my boy's horoscope, unless he finds a bride from the East, his marriage will not be a happy one.
A bride from the East is a hot commodity
There are
today.
immigration laws.
For their average citizen, yes, but not for Sammy Fong. In my book, there's only one law: supply and demand. You want the 8-ball in the side pocket? You got it.
You have an unfortunate way of expressing yourself.
I went to a progressive school. When I got out, my mother sent for a Hong Kong printer bride as a graduation present.
What has this to do with us?
A good question. This kid arrived in town today and can't handle her.
Why not?
You're not going to believe this, but she's too good for me. She's a fine, filial, obedient girl. That's not for me. A dame's got to beat my brains out, or I couldn't be happy with her.
How do you know?
I've tried it both ways. For 5 years, I've been slugging it out with the sweetest kid on the West Coast.
As one of the elders of the family association, I can tell you now, your contract must be honored. You must marry your picture bride.
That's why I've come to you. It takes 10 years to get one of those girls over here. I'm offering you mine for immediate delivery. You could have a grandchild by April.
You hear that, my sister's husband?
Your son could step in, I could step out, and the bride would save face. And believe me, that little face is worth saving. She's got skin like white jade, and she's built like a mean vase. She'd be the daughter-in-law of the year.
Your family, is she from a house with a high door?
You could ride through it on a camel without knocking your hat off.
How old is this picture bride?
She's a sweet 19, born in the year of the rabbit.
Tom was born in the year of the sheep. They would go well together.
Like vodka and tonic.
I would like to have this young woman come meet me.
That's what I figured. So I brought her along. She's waiting outside.
How could you discuss a family problem with a man who runs a fan-tang game in a nightclub?
Sammy Fong returns with Dr. Lee in tow. A man of 50, well-dressed, but carries himself with dignity. Originally played by Conrad Yama, Mei Lee follows him. Her pretty face is glowing with health. Mei Lee was played with star power by Japanese actress Mayoshi Umeki, who had just the previous year won the Academy Award for Best Supporting Actress for her role in Sayonara alongside Marlon Brando.
This is Dr. Lee and his daughter Mei Lee, Master Wang Chiang and his good sister-in-law Madame Liang.
You honor my house, Dr. Lee.
Your distinguished name has been rumbling in my ears like thunder.
10,000 benedictions, sir. And to you, madame?
You don't get them like this over here anymore.
Come here. Let me look at you, my child.
Mei Lee goes over to Wang obediently. Wang holds her chin. She opens her mouth. He looks at her teeth, then passes his eyes down to her small feet.
I see no outside blemishes.
Right off the assembly line, not a scratch on her. Here's your contract. It's a pleasure to do business with you, Master Wang. So long, Dr. Lee. So long, Mei Lee.
So long, too, Sammy Fong?
Oh, if I only knew what was good for me.
Mr. Fong, my daughter is still your picture bride, and if your plan does not please us, we shall address ourselves to the Three Family Association.
No, don't do that. They'll only louse it up a bit, and once they make a decision, you're a dead duck.
A dead duck.
Don't worry, we'll get it together. We'll kick it around.
Dr. Lee and Mei Lee rest themselves and tell their story of how they got to the United States from China.
And when the ship docked, we run away.
We had no papers.
You came in illegally?
To come in under the quota would take another 5 years.
It's 5 years. I'll be 24. That is too old to get married.
How did you come here from Vancouver?
When we found little settlements, we gave a show.
With the flower drum.
You can sing flower drum songs?
Yes, you get them, my daughter. Get the drum and the gong.
Mei Lee runs up, opens a suitcase, and takes out a flower drum and a gong.
It's been a long time since I heard a flower drum song.
Kind-hearted and distinguished friends, if the song is good,
Give me a little applause when I'm going through.
if the song is bad, though.
Give me applause too. My father says the children keep growing, rivers keep flowing too. My father says he doesn't know why, but somehow or other they do.
They do, somehow or other they do.
100 million miracles. 100 million miracles are happening every day, and those who the pains all away. Night is confused and upset. The sky falls down like a clumsy clown. The flowers and the trees get wet.
Very wet.
100 million miracles.
100 million miracles are happening every day.
And when the winter turns its face, the pains of goodbye keep place.
100 million miracles. 100 million miracles are happening every day.
Every single minute, so much is going on. Along the exit key or the timer or the dawn.
100 million miracles.
Swallowing Tasmania is sitting on her eggs, and suddenly those eggs have wings and eyes and beaks and legs.
100 million miracles.
A little girl in chunking, just 30 inches tall, decides that she will try to walk and nearly doesn't fall.
100 million miracles. 100 million miracles. 100 million miracles. 100 million miracles. 100 million miracles are happening every day.
100 million miracles. 100 million miracles are happening every day. My father says the sun will keep rising over the eastern hill. My father says he doesn't know why, but somehow or other
It will, somehow or other it will.
Come, my child, I'll show you to your room.
Act 1, Scene 2. A hill overlooking San Francisco. On the drop, the Golden Gate Bridge can be seen through the usual fog. This is revealed as the walls of Scene 1 slide off into the wings. Simultaneously, the various parts of this set slide on. Tall trees on either side, a bench downstage, backed by lilac bush and a lamppost. Tai Linda Lowe, played by Pat Suzuki, a Japanese-American new to New York, but made her presence known by singing on shows such as The Tonight Show and The Ed Sullivan Show. They are silhouetted against the backdrop, hand in hand. As lights come together, we see them walk downstage. Linda is thoroughly Americanized.
I wonder why Johnny and Anna stayed in the car. Maybe they thought we wanted to be alone.
I do. Don't we?
You bet.
That is why fellows and girls come up here.
Would your brother approve?
My brother?
The other night you told me he was an officer on an ocean liner.
Oh, my brother! He's at sea most of the time. He's very strict with me. He doesn't like me to go out with boys at all.
He sounds almost as bad as a jealous lover.
Yeah. He's been taking care of me for a long time. He buys my clothes, pays for my apartment. He even bought me the Thunderbird. You know, to save car fare. He pays for my singing lessons.
Are you serious about a singing career?
Not particularly.
What's your ambition? What do you want to be?
I want to be a success as a girl. Oh, it's nice to have outside accomplishments like singing, cooking, or first aid, but the main thing is for a woman to be successful in her gender.
But don't you think it's important to do one thing very well?
Sure, that's what I mean.
Linda slides up to Todd and looks up at him provocatively.
It's getting kind of chilly up here.
Wanna go?
I know, but I think I need something around me.
I'll go get your sweater. It's in the car.
Linda looks after him as if he were something she's never met with before.
I'm a girl and by me that's only great. I am proud that my silhouette is curvy, that I walk with a sweet and girlish gait, with my hips kind of swivelly and swervy. I adore being dressed in something frilly.
on with a sweater and holds it out stiffly. Linda snuggles close to the top.
Would you put it around me? Now, where were we?
We were talking about your ambition.
Oh, yes. What about yours?
Well, it's difficult for a Chinese, even with a college degree, to find employment. But I think I'll study law, because then I wouldn't have to look for a job for like another 3 years.
What will you do for money?
My father,
Is he rich?
very rich. And he really doesn't care what I do as long as I marry and give him grandchildren.
He sounds very Chinese.
Yes, he's completely Chinese. And that's good. And, I mean, it's good for my brother. He's completely American, but I'm both. And sometimes the American half shocks the Chinese half, and then sometimes the Chinese half keeps me from showing a girl what's on my mind.
Well, let's work on the American half.
Okay. Linda, will you marry me?
Of course I'll marry you, but we'll have to ask my brother's consent first.
Let's go to him. Right now.
He's on the ocean.
When we get his consent, I'll ask my father.
Must we get his too?
Yes, that's my Chinese half. But I'm sure he'll feel the same as I do about you.
In the scene that follows, we see Wang being measured for a suit. Everyone is getting ready to celebrate Ta's graduation. We are introduced to Helen Chow, originally played by Arabella Hom, who seems to have an infatuation with Ta. Everyone gets invited to Ta's graduation ceremony and party. Mei Li meets Ta for the first time and it is love at first sight. She sings I Think I'm Going to Like It Here, a song about how she finally feels like she will fit in and feel at home. Act 1, Scene 4, Wang's bedroom. The room is simply furnished with a few personal pieces that Wang brought over from China. A single bed is placed against the wall, and to the right, a 4-foot teak wood screen used to shut off the room when Wang is napping. A few uncomfortable, straight-backed teak wood chairs, a small night table with a gold figure of a Chinese god, a water pipe, and several weighty volumes of Oriental lore complete the room. A portrait of the late Madame Wang hangs on the wall above the bed, along with framed pictures of Wang's sons. The door opens and Wang comes into the room, followed by Dr. Li. Wang carries a large dress box under his arm, which he immediately starts to unpack.
I told Mei Li to come up here as soon as she gets dressed. Oh, is that the late Madame Wang?
She was a noble woman. My father arranged our marriage. I will bless him for it my whole life.
Wang has unpacked the box and holds up an evening dress.
Oh, what a surprise! I can't wait to see her expression. She's never had anything like it before. Oh, what will she say?
There is a knock at the door. The men exchange smiles and Wang conceals the dress behind his back.
Come in.
Mei Li enters the room. She is dressed in a plain light blue Chinese robe.
Good evening, Mr. Wang. Evening, my father. How do I look? Is this the right dress to the party?
You are not going to wear that dress.
But father, it is the best dress I have.
Our dear friend Master Wang has bought you a gift.
Wang holds the dress up in front of him.
It is beautiful. How can I thank you, mister?
Put it on, see if it fits.
The woman in the store was your size.
Mei Li goes behind the screen upstage.
Your gift has made my child happy. It was very generous of you.
No, it was not generous. It was my vanity. I wanted to honor my guest.
Madame Liang barges in carrying the jacket of Master Wang's suit. There is a large hole burned in the lapel.
What happened to your Western suit?
I accidentally burned a hole in it while
Accident-
smoking my water pipe.
Accidentally? You let it burn long enough to cook a suckling pig!
Throw it away!
You cannot throw away an expensive suit like this. I will send it to Helen Chow immediately in the morning. She will mend it for you.
Mei Li, dressed in her new gown, steps from behind the screen.
Oh,
Do I look like an American tomato?
What is that?
One son says Thai likes American tomato.
Ta comes into the room. He is dressed in his dinner coat and carries a small plastic box containing a corsage.
Father, I wanted to talk to you.
Come in, my son.
Wanta, why are you staring at me?
I didn't know.
My son! What did you want to talk to me about?
Oh, it's about a friend and her brother I've invited to the party.
If they are your friends, they are welcome.
I see you have brought flowers for Mei Li.
Oh, yeah, of course.
Ta presents the box of flowers to Mei Li. He has no choice.
Thank you, Wanta.
Over here it is custom to say it with flowers.
Say what with flowers?
Anything they have on their minds. Come, help me greet the guests.
She takes Dr. Lee's arms and goes out with the two men, leaving Mei Li and Ta alone. Mei Li reaches up on tiptoe and pins a flower in Ta's lapel.
I think I say it with flowers too.
Thank you, Mei Li.
You're so tall. You have been growing like a long time. How old are you, Wanta?
21.
In China, your father would have found you a wife 3 years ago.
Well, here you're not really a man until you're 21. And then you can choose your own wife.
Without your father?
Yeah.
How would you know if she's the right one for you?
If she's the right one, when you're away from her, you can't keep your mind off her. And when you're with her, you can't keep your hands off her. You can't understand unless it happens to you.
But I do understand. It has happened to me.
Who's the lucky man?
I will not tell him until he asks my father. How would you ask a girl to marry you, Ta? What would you say?
I'd say, darling.
That's nice.
I'd say, darling.
Yes?
Am I the man that you love? If that is true, I am more, something beyond and above the man that I was before. Like a god with my head above the trees, I can walk with a godlike stride. With a step, I can clear the 7 seas when I know you are by my side. Like a god with a mountain in my hand and my arm thrown around the sky. The whole world can be mine at my command when you're near and I hear you sigh. When you're near and I hear you sigh. There is no sweeter song I know. With a heart full of hope I fly. Higher I go, stronger I grow. Like a god, I can tear away the mist from the sky if you want it blue. From the wake of the mist, like a goddess, you'll be kissed by a god in love with you.
Of Chinatown. The garden is lit with Chinese lanterns. There is applause heard behind the curtain, continuing as the curtain rises. Seated around the garden are pupils of the Marina American Citizenship School and Ta's friends. Seated up center are Wang, Madame Liang, and Dr. Lee. As curtain rises, Professor Chang steps at the center of the stage holding a medal. He awards Madame Liang with a medal for her achievements at the Citizenship School. When she is attacked by Wang about assimilating, she sings Chop Suey, a song about how it is okay to feel more than one thing. She's happy to be considered American and Chinese.
You're wonderful, Aunt Liang.
I congratulate you, Madame, for your noble decoration.
Thank you, my dear.
I'd like to go to school too.
Linda Lowe and her brother Frankie enter. Linda is stunningly dressed, and Frankie is a handsome naval officer in forward house. Maylee's head, and it is apparent that he's not listening to Mei Li as she continues to talk.
And when I get decorated, you'll be proud of me.
Excuse me, Mei Li.
Hi, Ta. My brother, Commodore Love.
Ta acknowledges the introduction and leads them down to his family.
May I present my father, Madame Liang, Dr. Lee and his daughter, Mei Li, Miss Linda Lowe, and Commodore Lowe.
Hi, everybody.
You're the Thunderbird.
That's me.
Sweet incense. You smell good.
My brother brings it to me from Paris.
You use incense to keep evil spirits away?
No, to attract.
You live with your family, Miss Lowe?
No, I have a little apartment on Grant Avenue near my music teacher.
You are a student?
You sing rock and roll?
I like anything kooky. I dig that the most.
Do you know You Be the Rock, I'll Be the Roll?
Sure. You be be the rock, I'll be the roll. You be the soup, I'll be the bowl. You be the furnace, I'll be the coal. Rock, rock, rock.
Wait, stop!
Strictly.
Please, everyone, there are things to eat in the dining hall.
Wang starts to go. Linda prods Frankie, indicating Wang.
Master Wang, Venerable Master Wang. I wish to say that I have been considering your son's proposal to my honorable sister.
Shocked reaction.
Proposal?
As her guardian and loving brother, I hereby give my consent.
Father!
She plants a good smack of lipstick on his cheek.
Do you give your consent?
Please, I would like to speak to my son alone.
There is an appeal in his voice, which is not missed by Linda, who nods to her brother. They exit. As they start off, Maylie goes to her father.
I am going to my room, my father. I think I want to go to bed.
I understand.
Dr. Li puts his arm around Maylie and goes off with her, passing Madame Liang, who remains on, in the background. After a pause, Wang addresses his son.
This woman speaks of a proposal?
I have asked Miss Lowe to marry me.
What do you know of marriage? What do you know of women?
Sir, what did you know of women and of marriage when you married my mother?
Nothing. That is why I obeyed my father and married the woman he chose for me.
Sir, I have to tell you that I love Linda Lowe and I want to marry her. After all, I am 21.
Do you think you were born 21? Almost all of what you are up to now has come from me. I have given you my daily concern, my teaching.
Any time that I wanted to do anything, you decided it for
That's
me.
it as it should be.
In China, yes, but here a man is supposed to think for himself.
While you are in my house, you will live the life that I have designed for you. When the day comes that you can think for yourself, I will let you know.
My nephew, your father, is a wise man, and I...
Oh, he's wise, all right. Anytime that he doesn't want to confront you or give you an answer, he has a coughing spell.
I know, sometimes he drives me crazy too, but I let him have his cough. It's the only weapon he has to fight with here.
That's why he's never going to let a doctor cure it.
I think you have heard our little house guest too.
Maylie? How?
First you bring her flowers.
That was your idea. I brought them for Linda Lowe.
Maylie has gone to her room. I've sent Wang San for her. Well, she is in our house. You must be nice to her.
Madame Liang sees Maylie coming from the house. She pats Tal's shoulder and goes off. Maylie is now dressed in a silk pajama coat and pants. She comes down to Tal gingerly.
Wang San said he wanted to see me.
I didn't know where you were.
I went to my room. I didn't want to see you unhappy with your father. He did not give consent. Is there anything I can do for you?
No, Maylie. Thanks anyway.
How are the lovebirds? Don't tell me I can see. Everybody's eating and you're not. A good sign.
How are you, Sammy? Will you excuse me? I think I better go treat my house guest.
He exits.
You're getting a fine fella. Handsome, intelligent, good-looking, and loaded.
I didn't get him. He's in love with another girl.
What? Don't tell me he'd pass you up for one of these local egg rolls.
She's pretty good egg roll.
So what? You're quite an appetizer yourself. Now listen, baby, if she takes Ta away from you, his father will throw that contract right back in my lap. You better get on the ball, baby, or you're going to be stuck here with me. You are young and beautiful, sweet as the breath of May. Earnestly I speak to you, weigh every word I say. If you want to have a rosy future and be happy as a honeybee, with a husband who will always love you, baby, don't marry me. If you want a man you can depend on, I can absolutely guarantee I will never fail to disappoint you. Baby, don't marry me. I eat lychee nuts and cookies in bed, and I fill the bed with nutshells and crumbs. I have irritating habits you'll dread, like the way I have of cracking my thumbs. My grandpa was a big game hunter. He met Grandma swinging on a tree. If you want to have attractive children, baby, don't marry me.
I would like to see my sons and daughters sliding up and down their father's knee.
They'll get splinters in their little fannies. Cookie, don't marry me. I'm devoted to my dear old mama, and if you and mama disagree, I would always side with her against you. Snooky, don't marry me.
I would always like to know where you go. I don't like a man to keep me down.
Honey, that's a thing that's easy to know. You will always know where I am. I'm out. I am talking like a Chinese uncle. I am serious as I can be. I am saying this because I love you. Darling, don't marry me. Marry a joke, innocent and gaga. Marry a con, Ali or the Aga. Marry for money or marry for free, but don't marry me.
I accept your proposal not to marry me.
Linda Lowe comes on with Wang San, followed by Commodore Lowe with a girl on each arm. Sammy Fong reacts as he sees them. Hello, Mr. Fong.
Hello, Wang Sang. Who's your friend?
Miss Linda Lowe and her brother, Commodore Lowe. This is Mr. Sammy Fong.
Who's taking tickets down at the theater? Hi, Commodore. Glad to have you aboard.
Thanks.
What's the name of your ship?
It's the SS. It's the SS.
Well, you got the initials right anyway. Let me wish you bon voyage before I shove you off.
Thanks.
Did you say the name was Fong?
Yeah.
Fong. Fong. Fong.
Those are my uncles. What are you doing here?
I've got news for you, Sammy. Ta and I are engaged to be married.
Are you on a security kick? Getting yourself engaged to a kid just because he was born with silver chopsticks in his mouth?
You're jealous because you were only born with teeth.
Haven't you any feeling for the 5 years I've wasted on you?
Sure, but I don't want to share you with a picture bride.
As Linda explains to Sammy she has made a choice to marry Tosh, she is approached by several people about if she is going to move to a different part of the area, an uphill, since she'll be more well-to-do. But she responds by saying she will never give up her freedom by singing Grant Avenue, a song about where she lives and how much she loves it. The stage becomes the Celestial Bar. There is a dressing table and mirror left. Across the back wall, over a bench, hang her various costumes. A door, right, leads outside. Helen Chow is making a last-minute repair on one of Linda's costumes. Sammy Fong enters, orders her out of the room. She leaves and Linda enters. She asks him if she can go and not perform, how she wants to turn her life around before Todd's ever aware of her past life as a dancer. Sammy begs her to go on just one more time. All the while, he has set up a table for the Wang family center stage. We discover that Commodore Lowe is in fact Frankie, Linda's co-worker and co-performer. He tries to warn her that Ta and his family are here, but she refuses to believe his signals, and they inevitably witness Linda's striptease performance. End of Act 1. Act 2, Scene 1. Helen Chow's room. A modestly furnished room with an open kitchenette, top right center. A door to the hall, left center. On the left wall is a bed. On the right wall, a door to the bathroom. Below this is a sewing machine, a telephone on the wall above it. In the center of the room, a table with a bottle of wine on it, a chair on either side. Ta, in his shirt sleeves, is pacing up and down the room angrily and a little unsteadily. He has a glass of wine in his hand. After taking a drink, he turns to Helen.
What do you call this stuff, Helen?
Tiger bone wine?
Tiger bone wine. I may have to make this a steady diet from now on. What a damn fool I made of myself. Her brother gave her the Thunderbird to save car fare.
She has no brother. Sonny Fong gave her that. He gave her everything she's got. She's been his girl for 5 years.
Sammy Fong's girl. You know the worst part of it is? It proves my father was right. How am I going to face him? Maybe I won't have to. I'll call him.
As he dials phone,
Helen, give me another drink, please.
she pours a good drink and he gulps it down. As he answers phone, speaks to Madame Liang. His father is asleep.
I'm all right. I'm at someone's house. No, I'm with a fraternity brother. I'll be home in a little while.
He hangs up, crosses to the chair, left to get his dinner jacket.
Thanks, Helen. I don't know what I would have done without you.
Ta, you can't go out like this. Lie down. Rest a while. I will call a taxi for you and wake you up when it comes.
She leads him to the bed. He slumps down on the bed, taking off his tie and loosening his collar. He is practically out. His eyes blink, droop, and close. Helen tiptoes away with his jacket.
Small and shy.
His eyes close. The lights dim off, leaving him in a spotlight. As one in a trance, he rises and walks downstage, murmuring, "She's beautiful." The set breaks up and slides off stage. Lights come up slowly, revealing a drop on which is painted an impression of a Chinese landscape. Ta's nightmare is now depicted by a ballet in which he becomes involved first with a dancer who symbolizes Mei Li, then with another who represents Linda, in which case he is frustrated by entrances of other dancers who come between him and his desires. He ends up crouched in fear and confusion before Linda, Mei Li, and many others milling around him, whirling menacingly in front of him. Suddenly, they disappear and leave the lone figure of Helen Chow, who comes down towards him, dressed in an enticing negligee. She slips into his arms. He picks her up, kisses her, and carries her off. The lights dim to a blackout. The set is restored in the dark. When the lights come up, it is morning. Helen is laying out at breakfast. There is a knock on the door. She answers it, admitting Mei Li.
Good morning, Madame Helen Chow.
Good morning, Miss Lily.
Madame Lian asked me to bring the old master's western suit. It is damaged.
Helen takes it and holds it up, revealing the hole Wang has burnt in it. Meanwhile, Mei Li's eyes light on Ta's evening jacket hanging over the back of a chair. It still has the flower she gave him in its lapel.
Excuse me a minute. How did he do this?
He said it burned easily.
Helen takes the coat and hangs it from a coat hanger on the wall. As she does this, Mei Li glides into the room, takes the flower out of Ta's jacket, and hides it behind her. She addresses Helen as she comes back to her.
Please tell Madame Lian when it's ready, and I will come and get it.
Yes, I will, Miss Meili. Thank you. Goodbye.
Opening the bathroom door for Ta.
You can come out now. There was a customer here. I'm preparing breakfast for you.
Oh, no, thanks. That's okay, but I can't wait. It's past noon.
It won't take a minute. It is not good to go out empty.
No, thank you. I really should go, Helen. My father's probably called the police and every hospital in town. God, I've never stayed out all night before.
Ta, if you will come to see me again, I will cook a dinner for you. I'm a good cook, and no one ever tastes my cooking.
Thanks. I'd like to sometime.
When?
Soon.
If we could see each other once in a while, it would be a good deal to me. It gets so lonely sometimes. Look around you. This is the room I live in and work in.
Why don't you go out more?
You can't go out alone at night.
You must have friends.
No any that I care about.
By this time, Ta has tied his shoes. He rises and Helen ties his tie as she continues her speech.
I would love to go out with you sometime.
Sure. We'll do that sometime.
Looking at his watch.
Gosh, I've gotta go. I'll call you, Helen.
Do you have my numbers?
I'll get it from my mom.
Oh, no, don't ask her. Here's one of my cards.
Thanks.
He puts it down on the bed while he puts on his raincoat.
Goodbye, Helen.
He waves to her and leaves. She sees the card he left behind, picks it up and runs to the door. Then she stops in her tracks, realizing the pathetic futility of pressing her attentions on a man who was so obviously not interested. She turns and walks downstage, letting the card drop from her hand.
I have wished before.
Wang's living room. Noon that day. Madame Liang is seated at the table sewing. Wang is pacing up and down agitatedly, smoking his water pipe.
I want you to call the police department of the executive department to close down that nightclub.
They cannot. It is a free enterprise.
It's destroying public morals. That she-demon throwing her evil spirits in our faces.
That is an American folk dance.
It is bad luck to have women shake their naked body at you.
There was a noise at the door.
It's Tom?
Why are you not in school?
It is Saturday.
Go get your lunch.
Why don't we ever have sandwiches?
Raw meat on bread? Only cannibals eat raw meat. And if you want to be one, you can move to the hills and eat like a cannibal. Another citizen for your Western world. This is the first time Todd has ever stayed away all night. What could he be doing?
If this were a quiz program, I could win a trip to Europe.
When I lived at home with my parents, I never stayed away all night. I am puzzled by the attitude of children over here. They are often disobedient. They seem to have no fear of their father.
They come home when they are tired out or when they want to eat, and they act as if they're coming home or such a special treat for the father.
My older son at 21 has just discovered love, a complicated subject he knows very little of.
Your younger son confuses me the way he uses words. He tells me I am kooky and strictly for the birds.
What are we going to do about the other generation?
How will we ever communicate without communication?
You can't account for what they say or do.
And what peculiar thoughts they think they never reveal to you.
A very discouraging problem is the other generation. They want to lead a life that's all their own.
Perhaps we ought to let them, forsake them and forget them, but then we'd only find ourselves alone with one another. I don't believe they like to be alone.
When you think of your experience, you meet with cruel disdain. Every child is born with knowledge beyond their puny brain of their father.
Every child is born with confidence a parent can't achieve, and they act of the kind of intuition that compels them to believe what he'd rather.
My older son has chosen a daughter-in-law for me. A dancer in my nightclub is a daughter-in-law to be.
She dances and undresses till she's naked as a flea, and everyone can look at what he alone should see. What are we going to do about the other generation? How will we ever communicate without communication? They never take the blame for one mistake.
Oh no, their parents are responsible for every mistake they make.
A very discouraging problem is the other generation, and soon there'll be another one as well. And when our out-of-hand sons are bringing up their grandsons, I hope their grandsons bring their father's hell.
Can't wait to see it.
I hope their grandsons give their father's hell.
Is Mei Li back yet?
No, not yet.
There was a noise at the door.
It's Tom!
Ta lets himself into the room. He nods sheepishly to his father and aunt.
So it's finally you.
So, where have you been till this hour? Stop, not in front of your aunt.
I humbly beg for your forgiveness for last night.
I have many things to say to you, but anything I say now, you have already said to yourself.
I should have listened, my father.
Finding the right woman is a responsibility that rests on my shoulders. And I am happy to say I have found you one.
You've chosen a wife for me?
Your father has spoken to Dr. Lee.
I would be honored to have you for my son-in-law.
We shall drink to the happiness of our grandchildren with tiger balm wine.
Ta reacts, remembering the previous night. as Mei Li enters through front door.
Ah, my daughter, there you are. I am glad you are here.
Mei Li, you must have some too.
Dr. Li gives Mei Li a filled glass.
To our grandchildren.
Wang, Madame Liang, and Dr. Li drink. Mei Li does not drink, nor does Ta.
Please, may I speak to Mei Li alone?
Yes, yes.
Wang, Dr. Li, and Madame Liang start off left.
Ta, did you know that Mei Li was born in the year of the rabbit?
And Ta was born in the year of the sheep, a perfect match.
The three older people exit. Ta and Mei Li are left on stage.
My father has chosen you to be my wife. I am honored to obey his wish.
Yesterday, I was happy in the hope that he would choose me. I walked around the house, wanted to sing songs to myself. Once or twice, I did sing. Then I learned that there was another girl you wanted.
That's over. You were at the Celestial Bar last night. You saw what a fool I made of myself.
I'm thinking not only of last night. This morning, I took your father's coat to Helen Charles to be mended. I saw another coat on a chair, and these flowers.
She brings the flowers from behind her back and gives them to him.
You will not understand how I feel unless I tell you something. It will be hard to say. When I first saw you, when you came into this room dressed in your graduation robe,
Yes?
at the moment, at that very moment, I knew I loved you. I knew I wanted to be your wife. It is necessary for me to tell you this strange thing so that you will understand how I feel now. It is because I loved you so much. And my heart is so hurt today. I do not love you anymore.
She rushes from the room. Ta is deeply moved. Wang enters, senses that all is not well, and gestures inquiringly to Ta.
She's not gonna marry me.
She's a foolish, willful girl.
Cannot find it in my heart to agree with you. She's an unusual girl. I didn't know her.
She would have been a good wife.
You chose well, Father. A son does not like to say so, but you were a wiser man than I.
It would be strange for a man my age not to be wiser than a man your age.
I am grateful for your hospitality, Master Wang, but the time has come for us to leave you. Please believe that our reasons are good ones.
Dr. Li bows, crosses to door, opens it, and exits. Mei Li follows, bows to Wang, approaches door, turns and takes a long look at Ta, and exits, closing door as curtain falls. In this scene, we discover how serious Sammy's parents are. They arrive in Bash's club and his lifestyle. Also, they express their excitement, however, for meeting Mei Li, his picture bride and wife-to-be. They leave after Linda lets herself in. When she enters and they eye her up and down. He introduces her as a co-worker at the club. Sammy and Linda discuss their feelings for each other. She is angry how he sabotaged her marriage to Ta. He proposes to her for the millionth time and tells her he means it this time. He apologizes and proves his love by calling the family association, telling them to brace themselves that he is going to bring his future wife for them all to meet. He sings Sunday to Linda in celebration of his love for her. However, when they arrive at the family association, Mei Li and Dr. Li have beaten them there and have already introduced themselves. Linda leaves furious when Sammy does not stand up for himself and their love for one another. Wang San and his friends sing a reprise to the other generation, explaining how they do not want to grow up and they feel misunderstood. Act 2, Scene 5. Sammy Fong's penthouse apartment. Mei Li, wearing a kimono over her nightgown, is watching the late television show. The set is at right angles to the audience so that the light is from the screen can be seen, but not the picture. Ursula, come with me. You don't belong here with him. I will make a new life for you. I love you.
No, Carl, you mustn't kiss me. We haven't the right. No, Carl. Oh, Carl.
Mei Li watches and enthralled. She strikes a pose, timidly imitating the woman on the screen in the spell of a great love. The doorbell rings. Turns off the television, runs to the door and opens it. Wang Ta stands in the doorway, a small box in his hands.
Hello, Meili.
Hello, Wang Ta.
May I come in?
This is not my home, but you can ask my father.
Oh, please don't disturb me. I just came to bring you a wedding present. It was my mother's clock. She wanted it to go to the girl who my father selected, so you really should have it.
It is very beautiful. I will always treasure it. You must thank your father.
He doesn't know I've given it to you.
Oh, thank you, Wang Ta.
Dr. Lee enters. He wears a robe over his nightgown.
Good evening, Dr. Lee. I hope I didn't disturb you.
Oh no, Wang Tao, please come in.
Wang Ta has brought a wedding present, a gift from the Wan Qiang family.
You brought a very beautiful gift.
It's like some tea or something.
No, that's okay.
Dr. Lee sits down wearily in front of the TV set.
I was watching a late night show movie.
Do you enjoy American movies?
Oh, yes. In the American, like every American has a beautiful automobile and a beautiful golden girl in a car who wears wonderful clothes. They all seem so happy, but I understand why they all go around killing each other.
They have to do something late at night or people would fall asleep.
We wait sometimes for Sunny Fong to come home. Sometimes after the late show. Do we know, Father? He's asleep. He falls asleep in front of television even when it isn't on.
My aunt said you were having a Chinese wedding?
Ah, yes. It is the wish of my mother-in-law.
We hardly ever have real Chinese weddings over here. I've never seen one.
They are very nice. The bride is carried through the streets in a sedan chair to the groom's family, and when she arrives, we kneel before the altar of ancestral tablets and bless them. Then we drink from a double goblet, and when the bridegroom lifts the veil, he can look on his wife's face.
You have a beautiful face, Meili.
Same face.
Is that all there is to the ceremony? Doesn't he even kiss the bride?
Why should he? They're already married.
Here they're not really married until they seal it with a kiss.
Everything in America ends with a kiss. What does it mean? Why do they do it?
Well, it expresses what you feel. And when you do it to the right person, you light up as if you swallowed a swarm of lightning bugs.
Why should just touching lips together do that?
It does. It's hard to explain.
Maybe it would be easier if you can show me.
Yeah, it would.
Then do it.
Come here. What are you doing?
It is the kiss pose I saw in the television.
It's not posed for. It's done on the inspiration of the moment, sometimes by surprise. It's a strong personal attachment, induced by a sympathetic understanding. Do you understand?
No.
Well, physically, let us say it's an action, loved by everybody in the Western countries, especially here in America.
What is the action?
I will show you. Relax. Okay, you should probably close your eyes because it's better if you don't stare at me. That's right.
Wait, is that kiss that explains everything?
Well, no. Compared to the kisses you see in the movies, that one was only half done.
Only a half done?
Yeah.
Then do the well done one.
Oh.
That's
you, Maylee.
Many times I have been sorry for what I said to you that morning. Has no one ever changed the mind of a families association?
Never. But there's always a first time. And I'm gonna try. I'm not gonna sleep tonight. I'm gonna go walk the streets and I'm gonna think of a way.
A way?
To marry you.
Alright, Ta, do not sleep tonight. Try to think of something.
I will. Good night, my darling.
Good, my darling, too. Try to think of something.
My father, he has gone.
No, I did not sleep. I heard It is too late to talk that way, my child. I am going to bed. Do not stay up too long, my child.
How can I sleep when Tai is walking the streets trying to think of something? Oh, streets, please give him an idea.
Senor Sheriff, I must give myself up.
Don't tell me you held up the Wells Fargo state at Eagle Rock.
I came to the United States to cross the Rio Grande. I am a wetback.
You know the penalty.
See, Sheriff, take me back to Mexico. I cannot marry Rodriguez. He is in love with another woman. He is a wetback too.
Scene 6, Grant Avenue. The drop of this shallow set attempts to convey only an impression of San Francisco's Chinatown. In front of it hang low, narrow, streaming banners. 3 children run on and point off left. Then the reason for their excitement comes on, the procession of a Chinese wedding. First come 8 bridesmaids in flowing red gowns, then men and girls carrying elaborate candelabra, gold bird cages, articles of furniture, firecrackers, and other attributes of a traditional Chinese wedding. Then 4 men carry on a sedan chair which bears the bride, dressed in red bridal costume, masked by a heavy golden veil. Following her come more of the marchers, but before they have made their exit, the drop and the banners fly away, the next scene dissolving through this one. Act 2, Scene 7, Ballroom of the 3 Family Association. The set is dominated by a very large bed on a platform up center. The head of the procession is coming into the room as the rear is still leaving the previous set. Chandeliers are being lowered, wings are sliding in to form this new set. The entire company are on stage. Presently, the sedan chair is carried on and lowered. Sammy Fong helps Mei Li out of the chair and leads her in a circle around the stage in front of the guests. He is a gloomy bridegroom, going through with something he's been trapped into. They stop and kneel before the bed up center. An attendant hands Sammy the double goblet from which he drinks. He passes it to his bride, but suddenly she turns away and, dramatically tearing the veil from her face, comes downstage and faces the guests.
Honorable sirs, and my future mother-in-law, I must confess something. I came to this country illegally, across the Pacific Ocean. It is for that I cannot marry with your son. My back is wet!
You came illegally?
I must give myself up. I will tell the sheriff!
Yeah, as a law student, I can tell you that illegal entry breaks a marriage contract.
It does?
It's at the bottom. You didn't read the small Chinese print.
Did you hear that, Mama?
My son cannot marry a wetback.
Sammy, listen to your mama. No, this one.
I'll gladly marry a wetback.
You will do this without my consent?
Yes, my father.
Then I will give my consent.
Ta, tomorrow we must go to the temple of Ting Hao and thank the goddess of heaven for the television.
100 million miracles.
100 million miracles happening every day.
And those who say they don't agree are those who do not hear or see. 100 million miracles. 100
100 million miracles are happening